Right, let's learn how to use this table component, which is really straightforward. So we have the data source. So this is actually the data that we get back from our backend. We also have to pass the columns and then the table. And then basically we just pass the data source and the columns. So here, let's just take the columns and let me go back in here. And what we're going to do is the following. So in here, let me just define the columns as here. So const and then columns equals to, or actually, let me just paste that. And in here, let me just add a space. And we have what? So title, name, and then index. So basically title, data index, and then the actual key. So for us, we have ID. So ID, this will be ID, and this will be ID. Then we also have name. So that will be name, and then name. We also have email, and then email, and then email. So basically, this is the title that you see, and then this maps to the actual data source, right? And then the key. And what else we have? So here, so oops. So if I go back and if I inspect, so if I go to console in our array, we have name, gender, ID, and then, or actually email, gender, ID, and name. So I'm actually just missing the gender. So let me just grab that, put it there. This will be gender, and then this will be gender, and then gender. And we could actually organize this. I think it's fine. So ID, name, email, and then gender. So now let's go ahead and import the table. So here, again, I like to have my imports like this. So even though it makes the file look a little bit bigger, so it's fine. So here, just like that, and then from and the. Now let's import the table, just like that. And let's scroll down. And what we're gonna do is the following. So here, we actually want to basically always render the layout. So that's for sure. And then we're going to tidy up these menu items later, but now, so here, so this is the actual content, right? So Bill is a cat. So here, whoops. So Bill is a cat. So here, I'm going to say the following. So this is where we have the actual ternary, right? So I can say students and then dot and then length. So less or equal to 0. So if this is the case, I want to say no data, right? So no and then data, and then else, let me just say data available. So you see available, enter, or actually save that. And then here, so you can see that we have data available. So what I'm going to do, in fact, is I'm going to push this in here. So here, so right here, let's just have a function. So we're going to have a function. So I'm going to say const and then render and then students. And this will take students, and we need to say equals, and we don't need to have that in there, equals to, and basically we just do the same, right? So if, and then students, so students, and then dot length is less or equal to 0, we want to return, so no data and then available. And we'll change this in a second for a component. And then otherwise, we want to say return and then table. So table, and then surround like that. And basically, I'm just using, so here, so let me just take this. And then here, just let me just paste that. And then this will be, so data source and then columns. And if I indent this, and the data source will be students. And it's as simple as this. If I save this and then go back, oh, actually this is not going to work, and I'll show you why. So data available. So this is not going to work because we need to invoke render students. So here, so let's just remove that and then just say render and then students. And in fact, let's not even pass the students there. So there's no even need. So here, let's just have this empty because we already have students coming from here. So if I save this and now go back, check this out. So we actually have quite a lot going on. So let me actually collapse this and have a look. This is beautiful, right? So we actually have the data coming from our backend and it's nicely displayed. So this is awesome. So if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, let's carry on making some tweaks on this UI before we move on to the next section.